on my side. Yes, it is. Time is on my side. Yes, it is. Now you always say that you wanna be free, but you come running back.
I said you would, baby.
You come running back.
Like I told you so many times
You
before.
come running back to me. Time is on my side. Yes, it is. Time is on my side. Yes, it is. Searching for good times. Just wait and see.
We had a cousin Pepe. He used to run with us. He used to work with us full time. He got involved with a woman who was related by marriage to somebody else. He'd already cleared it with him because they weren't together, but of course this other guy was one of the end of a lot, which I'll call him. And he was as nice as pie, but of course then one day when he's pissed, he decided to spank Pepe. So I decided to spank him. And then that kicked off a little bit, and anyway, they went after Pepe one night, fired a hand pistol through the front door of our headquarters at 7th Avenue. They fired through, they didn't get him, he'd run straight upstairs, and it was dark in there, they didn't go in, they just fired through the door. And then there was a bit of an argument between me and them across the road a few days later, but again when they come back from the pub drunk, throwing about, because Pepe apparently is supposed to have made a statement, which I knew he hadn't. But they said, yeah, he'd made a statement. So fuck off, piss off out of it. Anyway, one night we're out. Was it the Volunteer, that pub?
Yeah.
The Volunteer. So we're there, what, 5, 6-handed? Top whack. Their little firm come in, again, 4 or 5-handed. And we weren't worried about them, just fucking drunkards, you know. That was it. So we're talking, we're having a laugh, this, that and the other. One of them come over, Wiltshire. Eddie boy, what's happening about this statement that Pepe's made? I said, listen, all right, Pepe's made no fucking statement, all right? No fucking statement. At all. Yeah, well, I said, oh, fuck off. Anyway, started getting into one. Billy reacted before I did and smashed a glass in his face. Caught his neck and that there. And that was it. He just bounced him all round the floor. I didn't have to interfere. None of my lads had to interfere. But, well, we didn't have a chance to react because he took over straight away. He just went in with crash, bang, wallop, knocked him all over the floor. And when he got up, he didn't know who'd hit him. He said to him, who done that? He said, you do that, Eddie boy? He said, no, mate, the little one done that. And then that kicked off again about a month later.
Yeah.
Something like that, Ilford.
Yeah.
Again, me and him are doing the books for the end of the season in our office, 41 7th Avenue. Knock at the door. Drunk arsehole from across the road. Oh, fucking fight you. Take his coat off, throw it on the floor. So I kicked him like the bollocks. I gave him a swift kick. And that was that. Then as I went out of the door, then Wiltshire was there with the knife. And there was about 3 others. And with that, Billy started putting some bits and pieces about. Smashed our window. Should have gone out and smashed their window over the road. But he tried to do one of them in the doorway and done the window instead. Anyway, they decided then they couldn't handle it, so they backed off.
Bare-knuckle boxer Donny the Bull Adams was known as the King of the Gypsies. However, he lost his crown when he fought Cray associate Roy Pretty Boy Shaw in a bout that lasted less than 20 seconds. Adams was to lose a lot more than his crown when he took on the Blundells.
We were based at the room at the top, and we also had a spy in their camp who was telling us what was going on, marking our cards. And we knew that they were getting a team up. Donny Adams was one of them.
We got a cab office in Ilford, and so Billy went and tooled up himself. We sent a couple of our soldiers and they went and tooled up. So we're waiting in there. Billy come back. Our blokes turned up with the guns. As they pulled up outside, the other firm pulled up at the same time. Billy was talking to him. Billy was talking to him, our driver, and he saw them get out of the motor. So of course he comes straight back into the office for me. Mark my card that they're here. The other 2 got out of the car, to fight them, but of course they didn't have the guns with them when they got out of the car. They didn't realise the other team was already tooled.
Yeah, and
so shots went off in the street.
Yeah.
One of our guys took off with, I think it's a big Humber he had, didn't he?
Yeah.
He took off up the long wide pavement along the road with the other one, Kenny, laying across the bonnet holding on. Just got away from the shooting and that. But of course, we're in the minicab office, they're outside, they're tooled, our tools have just drove off. Billy's okay, he's got a shotgun, but it's in his car and it's around the side street. So when we've gone back in the office, we can't go out the front because they're armed. So we go out the back. I'm too fat to get over the fence, so was Johnny Ferry. We lifted Billy over the fence. Billy went and got his shotgun. He came in, Oliver came in through the back. Johnny Ferry went at him with a big ashtray. And I think the only reason he shot us, really, I think he panicked.
Yeah,
you know, he just went, bum, bum. I caught one in the leg. Johnny Ferry got a ricochet in the arm. Then I could hear shooting outside.
Me and Donny Adams had a confrontation. Because that night I didn't even know my brother had been shot then. Anyway, I cracked Donny Adams with the butt of the rifle, but I held the rifle like a club by the end of the barrel, and I clubbed him right on the head with it. And he just shook his head. So I turned it round and went to shoot him, and he took off, dived into the cab. Obviously I shot him in the back as he went through.
In the end, they've used ammonia to blind him and get near him, and obviously you can see the scars on the face. We arrive at the hospital, I go in on the trolley, they hand me over to a matron who looks after me while they get the operating theatre ready. I'd lost 8 pints, and that was it.
Billy Blundell was charged with attempted murder. During his Old Bailey trial, he told the jury that he had acted in self-defence and was found not guilty. Having gun battles in a public street inevitably led to the police wanting to curtail the Blundells' activities. Whilst incarcerated in Maidstone prison, Billy fell out with a fellow inmate. The inmate was a close friend of one of the UK's most feared families, and so Billy was warned to back down.
You had this guy there, Dougie Weaver, his name was, and supposed to be the right pal of Patsy Adams, you know, so everybody had to keep clear of him, supposedly. Weaver starts mouthing off to me, so I just give it to him. I just crack, and his eye come up like an egg. Anyway, I just bashed him. I got arrested, and I got put in the block, what they called the block at the time. And then Patsy Adams made himself busy, and he's supposed to be the big shot and all that, so full of himself you wouldn't believe. His brothers were supposed to be doing this and doing that, so, which they probably were, and they were wealthy people. I don't know nothing about them, so I can't say nothing about them. But him I know, because I've lived with him for 4 years, and you know, you get to know someone, you get to know whether they're an arsehole or not. And as far as I'm concerned, he's an arsehole. He's running around with someone who'd grasped me up, arm in arm, like calling this one a grass and that, and he's walking around with one on the exercise, you know. And anyway, I hear that he's busying himself. So some said to me, Bill, don't go up the gym because he's going to be down the gym waiting for you. I said, I'm not going to hide from that arsehole. He's come in with a load of others, and he went to me, yeah, Blundell, he said, do you want a row? And then went and threw a punch like my sister could have done better. So I slipped under it. I give it to him, held his head down and just kept punching him. And everybody else was trying to jump on me back and all that. And then I punched more people than I had time, everyone around me. But then when some of the black boys then got involved, they'd run like greyhounds. Anyway, so with that Patsy Adams, the next day, I sent Ricky Curley up to go and see him, to tell him that if he really fancies having a row, we'll have it there, put bag gloves on to make out we're sparring. They can get up on the wall bars, we can have it there. So he sent a message back, no, it's all over now. I knew it would be all over, because he's frightened of his own shadow by the look of him, you know. And he's like a beanpole, you know. So anyway, that's my run-in with the so-called Patsy Adams, the A-team. I keep calling them the arsehole team. I don't know him, but to him, I do know. Because he's a complete liar, because he gets out of prison and he goes, I'll give it a Blundell in Maidstone, and half hour later he was shipped out. I was still there 2 years after he'd left. So, you know, just lies. Next time I saw him was at Maidstone, Chelmsford prison. I was on remand and he was in there. Patsy Adams, I said, oh, Billy Blundell, I said, I had problems with you at Maidstone, didn't I? I said, have I got a problem with you here? He said, yeah, if you want it, so I give it to him. He bang, 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 and done the same thing, held his end down because he couldn't fight, just puts his hands out, clawing. Which they do, they ain't got no experience, they go like that. I was just giving it to him. Anyway, I got arrested again. I'm an old man now, but I can shoot and stab as well as anybody else.
The underground rave scene exploded onto the mainstream stage and for a short period excluded the criminal elements. In 1987 I had started work as a doorman at Raquel's nightclub in Basildon. Within a year or two I had taken over security at the club and Raquel's began to put on raves. In 1993 I formed a partnership with a man named Tony Tucker. With the rave music came drugs, and with Tony Tucker came Pat Tate. He was well known in the Essex underworld after making a dramatic escape from Billericay Magistrates Court. He had assaulted the police that were guarding him, vaulted the dock and ran outside into the street, where a waiting motorbike whisked him away. He had later surfaced in Spain where he met up with Eddie Blundell.
Pat Tate, I spent a bit of time with in Spain when he was on the run. Puerto Banús was the place. Everybody was there, the gold bullion mob was there, the Security Express mob was there, the Cougaran mob was there. I found him a very nice geezer, I really got on well with him. I liked him a lot. But obviously he wasn't on drugs at the time, you know, and the stuff that happened consequently, obviously, you know, once they start putting drugs up their nose and mistreating other people, then obviously people are going to get to dislike them.
Shortly after I had met Tucker, he, Tate and their sidekick Craig Rolfe began to binge on drugs. This led to them believing that they were all powerful.
Well, I went to the club there where you was to look for him.
That's right.
Because, you know, there was a bit of a conflict and I needed to talk to him, you know. And for some reason, Tucker, was it Tucker? Tucker wouldn't come and meet me. Tate's the big guy, ain't he?
Yeah.
Right. So he sorted out with Pat Tate to come see me, and he come down the farm and I told him what the score was and what was going down, and how, you know, they're upsetting wrong people and they're not prepared to come and talk about it. And I said, you do realise you're with him all the time, ain't you? So, and if anything goes down, you're going to get it as well as him. If someone creeps up behind you, go bang in the back of the head, don't be surprised, because, you know. He said, well, he looked me in the eye and he said, well, if it happens, it happens. So then I knew it was no good trying to talk to him or the other one.